Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp of the Limp, and I'm back with the next part of this review through covering Zeppelin Raider. I keep wanting to say Zeppelin Leader for some reason, and I know this isn't a DVG game, but for some reason I've got like Zeppelin Leader stuck in my damn head. So if I say that at some point during the video, it's just because it's just like rattling around in my brain. All right, but we're going to pick up where we left off. Make sure you watch the first video and all the other crap if you haven't done it already, because we're not going to go over the basics. We are going to start here with our lovely little flowchart cards to go with. Love these things. Stuka, you're amazing. All right, so we are on a bombing mission. We're trying to get over here from Whitman to London to drop some of these bombs, incendiaries, and other good stuff without blowing ourselves up or getting blown up in the process. So let's continue on with it. Love it. We start. Remember, we finished with our upship. Shows us to go to the blue sequence, the flight sequence. That's where we're at. We've got 1 bar of altitude already just from the engines being running and granting us lift. Unfortunately, we are at light rain, which sucks. I didn't want to have to deal with rain, but it is what it is. All right, so travel 1 box and adjust the altitude by any amount desired. You adjust the altitude by dropping some type of ballast, which is equipment or ballast, just regular ballast that you carry, or anything else, or if descending, by venting gas. So we're not going to vent gas because we're going to have to do that a lot anyway and expend fuel. So let's do this. We're going to take our little P marker because we're in our P class. We're going to go pop right here. Because, yeah, that's the only place we can go. I'm thinking the most direct route is going to be here and then straight down to London and then straight back. And we can go around other directions. And part of the reason you would do that would be if the weather were to change and we would have wind blowing us in a certain direction, then we would have problems. We would be burning too much fuel. I do want to try to go up in the air a little bit. So we're going to do that. We're going to drop a little more ballast to go up. So we're at the lowest, the highest point of the low band. Now, remember the next one, if we go up to medium, we're going to have to vent gas and it'll drop us back down. So basically we vent by doing that. Long story short, you have to drop 2 ballast to account for the fact that you go through that little band. And it's a pain in the butt. But one of those little things that you have to deal with. Maybe I'll just stay low and not have to worry about it. But I think I want to be at least the medium band. I'm not sure. I know there's some modifiers that come into play. Like it's easier to bomb when you're at low, but it's easier to get shot down by aircraft. And it's easier to be hit by AA fire. So definitely want to kind of probably get to that medium band and hang there. All right, and expend fuel. We are at full right now, so we're going to flip our counter to its half side. We're good. And now we have to do a mechanical failure check because this is 1915 and everything breaks. Evidently, check for mechanical failure. That's on chart A5. So let's grab our chart here. It's B5. That's A. Here we go. Random mechanical breakdown chart. All right, so at the start of each turn, roll to see if any mechanical issues arise. If possible, you must damage a cell or engine that is as of yet undamaged. At the end of each turn, attempt repairs if you have available generic crewmen, which we definitely do at this point. Generic crewman markers that are unwounded or lightly wounded. Each available crew may attempt to repair a single damaged system of the player's choice. Each system may only have attempted repairs happen once per turn. You cannot assign 3 crewmen to fix a single engine, for example, and you only get 1 attempt. Okay, so we got to do a 2d6. We definitely don't want a 2. We don't want a 12 because those are 2 engines going down. We have engines at 10 and 11 and then wireless and a gas cell leak at 4. So it's a 2d6. Let's roll and see what we get here. Hopefully no whammy, no whammy. Keep me at 7. Boom! That's what I'm talking about. 7. Let's go for craps. Okay, so we had nothing happen there. Good, good, good. Let's keep scrolling through our cards. Go to 3. We got to do a weather check. And remember, I'm going to be a little bit slower as we're going through this because while I familiarize myself with the game, I'm trying something a little different. in not having played it too much because I wanted to hit it with as fresh of eyes as possible when I was doing my review. So I familiarized but didn't get overly into it. Let's check for possible wind weather change. That's going to be on W2. WW2. It's not that one. That's going to be this one. Okay. And of course, with these games, it's all about the charts. We're in spring. We're in May. So we're going to be rolling 2d6 here. And once we have a weather change, we do not have to check for weather anymore. So it can only change once. I think that says it here. Does not count as the once per turn change. So yeah, if it's no change, it doesn't count as a change. You don't get a rebate on any lift. But basically, once you've had a weather change, you don't have to worry about rolling for weather change anymore. All right, so come on. No whammy. We got an 11. I think that's probably going to be a whammy. Yep, we've got rain. So we are actually worse off now than we were. Let's take... We're going to switch out our rain counter for our light rain counter. And I'm going to drop another bit of ballast so I don't lose weight or I don't lose altitude, because now there's even more water attaching to our Zeppelin, which is weighing us down. That's a problem. So I have made it one block and I'm halfway out of ballast. This is not good. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that high. I'm probably going to just hold on to what I got and just do a low run over and see what happens. We'll play this one by ear. But now that I don't have to worry about that anymore, I'm going to take this little card out. That way, not going to have to worry about it. All right, so now we also have to roll for any potential encounters. And you're going to roll for encounters on charts A2 and A3 if traveling in North Sea or target box. You can get an event to happen, but once that has happened on a roll of a 12, you don't have to worry about it again. Now, let's see... I should be rolling, yeah, because these are our scouting boxes here, so I should be rolling here. The first roll of a 12 on a mission or for bombing or scouting encounters a random event, which should be on the back of this one. No, it's on the back of something else. Back of the weather. Yeah, here we go. It's back of the weather chart. It's all spread everywhere. Now, it looks like this is mainly just going to be aircraft that we encounter. Hopefully it won't be an aircraft because I really don't want to get hit with aircraft this early. All right, so let's roll. 2d6. Give me another 7. 4. Whoo! Missed it by 1. I'll take it. I will take it. I like these cute little dice that Compass put in here. Tiny little D6s. Okay, and this is what I'm talking about. This is why having a little flow chart is so nice, because I guarantee you I would have forgot one of these steps if I was having to do it by the rule book. All right, so we did our encounter. Now, bombing scouting routine. We are not to that yet because we're not here. See, if we're on a bombing mission, conduct the bombing routine. If over the target, we're not there. Resolve encounters, including aircraft from your previous turns. We don't have any of that to go to yet. So, bam, we are back to the start. All right, so we'll continue pushing on here. I'm going slow. I want to make sure I don't forget anything as we're going along with this, but I think we are good to go. Hoping no mechanical failures. So we can go to this box. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 boxes to get to London. Hopefully we can get there without any problems. All right, so we're going to go to B, right? We're going to drop down fuel. Remember to flip your counter back over, if I can get it to flip. So now we've actually dropped a whole tank of fuel, and I'm looking forward to getting down here because that will give me a little more lift coming up, but it will cause me to have to vent gas. So literally, if I lost the fuel here, right, that would cause me to gain a lift. I would gain lift, but it would drop me into the medium bracket where I would have to vent. So I would vent gas from one of my cells, which would put me right back into low. So even that wouldn't get you anything. That's one of the things I kind of noticed with this game is you're going up and down and up and down. They really had a hard time keeping this crap at a level. Okay, so we've done that. We've traveled one box. I'm not going to adjust my altitude because I'm not blowing any more ballast. We've adjusted for our fuel, so we're good there. We're going to do our mechanical check. Don't break on me yet, baby. This is just a little bit of a pain in the butt having to do these little checks. All right, so Engines in Zeppelins were notoriously unreliable and gas cell leaks were not uncommon. That's just a pain in the butt to have to check this every single time. All right, we got a 6. 6 is no whammy. I'm good with that. And I am happy that they put the majority, like when you're doing a 2d6 roll, the most likely thing you're going to roll is a 7. So, of course, that's a nothing. They put it at the extremes. The bottom 3 and the top 3 numbers you're least likely to roll. That way it's less of a chance of something like that actually happening. But there is a chance. And we all know the dice gods can turn on you really quick. All right, so our weather, we don't have to worry about rolling for a weather change now because we have the worst weather we're going to get. Oh, bug on my target here. Okay, so roll for encounters. Let's do our encounter roll again. And this should become second nature, but it won't to me. So, here's what it is. Where is it? Okay. Here is our encounters. Again, we're checking for aircraft. Let me roll. No big numbers or no little numbers. Give me right in the middle. Shoot in the middle. Where are you going? 8. And perfect. Nothing happening there. All right, so we're getting lucky so far. And the last 2 cards should, again, be nothing for us. We're not to our bombing spot, and we don't have any counters to resolve just yet. So we are back to our next spot, and now we're ready to move into England. All right, so I was actually looking because I was like, okay, what happens if I encounter an aircraft? How do I determine which one? So I was reading over in the rule book, and there's actually a errata here. They may have already updated this, and they may not have. I haven't checked BGG yet, but it says chart A3. You're going to roll on to determine what type of aircraft. It's actually chart A4. Because I was looking at it, I'm like, what the hell? A3 just tells me, like, if I have an encounter. So if you flip this over, A4 has the year and what types of aircraft you can run into. So this is what you need to roll on for that if you have the encounter. All right, so let's continue on here. We're going back to 1. We're going to move. And again, not going to do any adjustment on our altitude. I'm going to hold on to the ballast. I want to hold on to the ballast in case I get any leaks. So I have a way to keep myself at least in the air, right? That's my thought process. Let's flip our fuel, right? So we're going there. We've gone over the island itself, and we're not adjusting altitude. Got to do our random mechanical failure. All right, I wasn't looking at the bottom of A5. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to check for our mechanical failures. Sorry about that. Just need to keep from getting distracted. Let's roll. And we got a 9. Ooh, close. I thought I had lost an engine. No, we're good. No engine difficulties as of yet. Oh, don't kill me. Don't kill me. All right, so now we got to roll for our encounter again. All right, please, no ships, no planes. Don't hit me with anything. Well, I'm not going to get hit with ships. That actually has to do when you're doing scouting down here. That tells you what you're going to run into or hopefully identify. So battleships and destroyers and all that good stuff. All right. Any aircraft here? There are 10. Ooh, close, but no cigar. No aircraft just yet. All right. And I should be good now, because I am over a target box, but not my target box. Now, this is something that I am a little bit confused on, and I think I'm right on this, but I'm not 100% that I'm right on this. And it's like, if on a bombing mission, conduct a bombing routine if over target box. All right, so that's what's on this. And this, I am technically in a target box, but I'm not my target box. And it's the way that it's written in the rules that is slightly confusing. All right, so bombing and scouting. Arrival at target. Bombing occurs after the Zeppelin arrives in a target box. Okay? And it's the way that that's written that throws me off just a bit. Because I'm going, is it my target box or is it just any target box? I think, and this is part of the reason I wanted to show you guys this with like fresh eyes, so someone who's not 100% familiar with the game can show you like what they're going through with it. But I think this means London. right? I think this means my target box. And that's the way that I'm going to play it. You guys put down in the comments if you've heard differently or read differently. There may be a errata out by the time that this video is actually going up that I'll confirm in the next part that tells me something different or explains the variation. But the wording's just a touch ambiguous enough that it could be read in either direction. If you guys get what I'm saying, that you're supposed to do this procedure in all of these boxes. And I'm just not 100% sure. I think I'm right, but I'm not 100%. So if I am wrong on this one, don't get mad, don't kill me, and try to cancel the Gimpy and all the other crap. All right, so we're going to continue on as we have. We're not doing our bombing, no encounters to resolve, so we are back at the beginning. And we will move into our target box. This is where things are going to get interesting. We're going to drop our fuel cell down. All right, so we are good there. We're not. I'm going to stay at low. I don't want to, but like I said, I'm trying to hold on to my ballast. I'm afraid I'm going to get some shots into my balloons, take some leaks, and I don't want to blow all my ballast trying to count for all that crap and then end up not having enough to keep myself off the ground. But it would help because if I got farther in the air, I would have farther to come down to without having to drop ballast. It's a game thing, so it could be better one way, could be better the other. All right, but we've expended our fuel. We're not going up. We got to do our mechanical failure check, and that should be A5 right here. Please don't break on me now, right as soon as I get here. 5, good. Whew, I keep hitting right on either side of something happening. I am good with that. And we should be going to roll for encounters. Now, if traveling North Sea box or target box, because I know I'm going to have some encounters here with AA, but I still think I do the encounter roll anyway. So let's do the encounter roll. Go by what the flow chart says. Hopefully we will not get a plane to hit us right as soon as we're over the target box. And an 8. 8 is good, so nothing to worry about there. Come out, you little D6. Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff. We are at our bombing thing. So now we are going to conduct our bombing routine because we are over our target and we are going to do the droppy, try to identify something and see what happens. All right, so like I said, I'm going to do this slow to make sure I'm hitting it in all the right points. This is a chart we haven't looked at yet, but you'll notice it looks familiar. It's similar to the other charts that we've had with games like The Hunters, where it's your hits and all the other good stuff, the damage that you take. Now, first thing that we have to do is our navigation chart. We have to see if we are over our target. Now, there are modifiers for this. You can get a -1 for dropping a parachute flare, and there's a +1 if it's raining, heavy rain, or snowing. We do have rain, so we're already at a +1. And you get a -1 if you have an expert navigator. We do not have an expert navigator. So I think I am going to drop a parachute flare in the hopes that I can do this in one go instead of having to waste fuel. Because 1 to 4 is going to be a success and a 5 to 6 is a failure. This is just normally. But we're already getting a +1 due to weather, so it would mean basically a 1 to 3 and a 4 to 6. So by dropping the parachute flare, we put it back to at least normal. I want to hold on to my other flares because my goal is to spend 1 more for target identification and 1 more for blinding the AA. I'm at least going to save 1 to blind the AA. All right, so let's roll here and see if we get a successful target. Come on, successful target for me. 4. Woo! Good thing I spent that flare. If I did not, that would count as a failure. So now we are considered to be in the correct area and we have to roll to see what type of target we have found. If I had actually failed, I would have had to spend a half or a full if we had bad wind fuel to stay in the area and try to navigate again. But we are good, so we go to the targeting area. So this we roll to determine what type of target we have found. We can spend parachute flares to go for a different target if we want. So targets with an asterisk give bombing points when bombed. Targets without do not. They are essentially military unimportant, although if bombed, still give credit for a successful mission. So if you bomb stuff, you can still say, yay, you know, I bombed something. But if you don't bomb good stuff, then you're not really getting bonus points for it. Targets with the plus symbol cause you to lose a prestige point if bombed. Those would be things like the church, synagogue. You don't want to bomb those. Targets with the PP note cause the player to gain an automatic prestige point if bombed. That would be good. Things like Bank of England, Foreign Office, Admiralty. And targets with the F note take double damage from incendiary bomb hits, which are going to be lumberyard, petroleum storage tanks, stuff like that. All right, now you'll notice this is a 1d6 plus 1d20. And I was like, wait, how does that get 40? What you do is you roll your d20 and a d6, okay, together. And if the d6 comes up 1 to 3, it's going to be this first column. If it comes up 4 to 6, it's going to be the second column. But you're still just doing the 1 to 20. That's how you determine it. So let's see what type of target we have here. We got first column, 19. Stock exchange. I will take it. Yes, absolutely. Perfect. That is something that is worth bombing. So I will go for it. We're not going anywhere else. All right, so let me check, see on our next procedure. Okay, so now we're at the point where we determine how many bombs we're going to drop. But first, we need to see if we're off course. I'm going to drop everything, but I am going to go ahead and roll on this just to make sure I am still right where I'm at and I'm not having to roll for a new target. Yep, we're good. So I don't have to roll for a new target. We are over the stock exchange, which does count for us. So we, being at low altitude, are going to be looking here. 2 to 6s on the 2d6 roll is going to be a hit, and a 7 to 12. Oh, that is so bad. 7 to 12. It couldn't have been like 8 to 12 so I could have 7s there. Ooh, we're not going to get a whole lot of hits. All right, but that's what we're going to do. After we do that, that's when we have to deal with the AA chart. All right, so we're going to roll to see how many of them hit. We're dropping everything, and then afterwards, the ones that hit, we're going to roll on this chart to determine how much damage they did, and then the totality of that will be our points for this mission. Okay, get what I'm saying? And since for every 2 bombs, let's see, so this is 2 weight, so 2 altitude that I'm getting out of this. I'm not going to drop ballast. I get this after this is already dropped, but I want to go ahead and have all this done. So let's pull these off over here. So that is a total of 2 altitude, right, that I should be getting out of this, because that's 1 altitude, and then these guys all together count as 1 altitude. So if I go up 2 altitude, I will actually drop back down to this and have to vent for the, where's my vented one? We'll place that there, and we'll place that there as well. Now, this is me going ahead and just getting this done just so it's accounted for, since I'm dropping all of my bombs on this one target. So I am putting that there. I was at 2. This is where I dropped all my bombs, was at altitude 2. That's why I'm using the low chart. But we've gone up because we've decreased all of this bomb weight, and we crossed a threshold, which caused this to vent. So I've marked the venting in both, and the venting caused me to come back down by 1. So now I am at medium altitude 3 once our bombing is done. Okay? Hope I've explained that well enough. Now we are going to roll for all of these bombs to see if they're hits. I'll just do them this way. We'll line them up and roll for them and see which ones hit. We have 4 incendiaries and 2 bombs. All right, so first incendiary is a hit because we're looking for 2s to 2 to 6, so that's good. Bring that one over there. All right, second incendiary is a hit. Okay, yeah, this is good. The dice gods have been good to me on this game. They are not usually that good to me. Oh, you're going back in. And another hit. That was yummy. Okay, good deal, good deal. Watch, all my incendiaries are going to hit, and then all my big bombs are going to miss. That's a miss. All right, so you go there. And roll for our 2 bombs. Is that a hit? Yay! I got one of my bombs. Actually, I hit far more than I really was anticipating. Way more. How many times did I roll? 3. Good grief. All right. I mean, I'll take it, but I'm hoping I don't get a bunch of low numbers when it comes to other things that I need. All right, so we got 2 bombs and 3 incendiaries to hit our target. Now we are going to roll. There's a modifier that I'll have to work. Let's see. What is this? -1 for incendiary hits after the first hit. Okay. And -1 for navigation success. All right, so we were successful. So for after the first hit on these incendiaries, I'm going to have to adjust another -1. Okay, so it's a 1d6 roll, seeing how much damage. There's 1 -1 already in effect. So a 1 will effectively get me 4 damage with an incendiary. So first one, all right, you go in there. That was a 1, but I'm going to roll it back in there anyway. 3, so that got me a 2. 2 is 1 damage. All right, I'm going to use this D10 to total it up. So we're at 1. All right, so that's first incendiary done. That is a hit, so now it's -2 for the rest of these incendiaries. That brings that down to 0, so bam, that is up to, because that got 4 damage. That's up to 5. I might have to go to the D20. All right, and last incendiary, where are we at? That is also 4 damage, so we are up to 9 damage on incendiaries. That's actually really good. Okay, good for you guys. Now, the bombs actually do more just straight damage, but they're not going to get that -1 for the incendiaries. So, first one, we got 1, which is great. That's another 4 damage. Damn, why are these dice rolling low? I'm going to put that on this one. All right, so 4 damage. And second bomb, pull you over there, is another 1. You got to be kidding me. Wow. Oh, right. I mean, I'm thinking the AA is going to blow my ass apart because I'm rolling so low here. All right, where's the 8? Oh, I can't find the 8. Where's the 8? I know you're on here. Okay, 8. So incendiaries did 9 points of damage, and bombs did 8 points of damage, if I calculated that correctly. I'm sure I made a goof in there somewhere, but I will take it. That is sweet. 17 points of damage to start ourselves off. So bombing run of London results was 17 points bombed. That is not freaking bad for our first start. I will take it. I will absolutely take that. Okay, now we have to deal with the AA fire coming back onto our Zeppelin. Okay, so I was reading over this. There's a lot of little modifiers that come into play. And when it comes to the AA attacks, they get to attack twice, right? After I've conducted my bomb run, they're going to fire at us 2 times. But first, you have to do what's called the searchlights to see if they've coned you, and that's going to give them a modifier. If they cone you, which this is going to be bad because my D6s are rolling low right now, a 2 equals coned, which gives them a +4 modifier, which will just devastate me at this point. I'll be blown out, but at least I took out London. 3 to 5 is going to be spotted, which gives them a +2 die roll modifier. But I do have 2 parachute flares left, and I am going to use one of these for each one of the attacks. So for each attack, like I said, there's 2. You can drop a flare, which blinds them and gives them a negative modifier. It's not much, but it's a -1. I'll take it. I'm not going to use those flares for much else, so might as well at this point. So let's see if they got us coned. Come on, roll well for me. Roll well for me. Dice guys, stick with me. 6. 6 is 1 off from being spotted. Talk about getting lucky. Damn, I want to keep these dice for when I'm playing multiplayer matches instead of solo. No kidding, man. All right, so First attack, we're going to be dropping a flare. That's going to give them a -1, but I am at medium altitude now, so they are getting a +1 on the chart. And it's a 2d6 roll, and yeah, 2d6 roll. You see here, it starts actually hitting at 7. So 7's one hit, and then all the way up to 15. They're getting a -1 and a +1, which means they're just flat neutral at this point. So it's whatever the 2d6 roll is. So at least they can't get over 5 hits. All right, now I need the dice to roll low for me again. Come on, baby. Do it for me. First one is a 5. That is ineffective. No whammy. So second parachute flare to account for the medium altitude modifier, which I can't even get over medium height anyway. And 4. Ineffective. They have missed me with all the AA. They were not able to comb me. I was able to blow the hell out of the London Stock Exchange and tear them a new A-hole. Love it. Love it. You know, I actually might write myself a little chart for a flow chart to handle the bombing aspects, because there's a little flow to everything that you got to do. And that's because I actually missed one thing. After AA fire, you do have to roll for the random aircraft encounter. So let's see on A3, where's it at? Here we go. I have to roll for random aircraft. All right, give me the 7s again, baby. 5, nothing. I'll take it. Give me one more, nothing. 10. 10 is nothing, no aircraft. Had to do that for each one of those. So now we have completed our bombing run and are going to be moving back towards base. So we've actually done relatively well. We've expended all our bombs. We've got fuel left. We're at a decent altitude. We've got no holes in our ship. Now, the procedure to go back towards your base is going to be the same as we were doing the same way coming in, except now we have no bombs left. So we're going to go in. We're going to check for any encounters that we're going to have, mechanical failures, all that other good stuff as we move back. All right, I grabbed out a couple of counters real quick because I wanted to show you guys a couple more things, since I had a few instances here. Like, I was able to show you the bombing, but I wasn't able to show you what happens if an aircraft comes in. So we're going to go over that really quickly, just to down and dirty what happens with aircraft, okay? So let's say at any point along here I had encountered an aircraft. We would roll on this chart, again, to determine what the aircraft is. If it's a seaplane and you're not over sea, you treat it as a no effect. Or if it's a aircraft that hasn't been developed yet, because you see the dates are on some of these, like it didn't come into play until September, July, any of those, that would be treated as no effect. But if it is an aircraft that we can encounter, so like this B2C, that number next to it, the -4, that tells you what altitude it comes in. So that would come in at an altitude of 4, but this short 184 would only come in at an altitude of 2. And that really matters for our Zeppelin, because if they come in above you, so this BE aircraft, if it came in at an altitude of 4, it would be considered to be above me, and it would get to attack twice on this chart before I'm able to do anything. Like, it's getting to attack twice. If the aircraft comes in at your level, you get a chance to attack it first and potentially drive it off. So Zeppelins that have at least 8 machine guns, which this one does, can fire at these aircraft and try to destroy them or damage them. And you roll just a single D6 for your attack, and on a 5, they're damaged. On a 6, they're destroyed, and then they're going to attack you. If they damage you, they only get to attack once. However, if they come in below you, that's where it gets a little bit interesting, because each round, for a couple of rounds, they're going to try to chase you. But the thing of it is, these weren't like fast jet planes, so they're not going to climb altitude very fast, and your Zeppelin can climb them as well. So what you can do is literally climb away. So they're going to chase you. I think it's 2 rounds that they'll can try to chase you to get at your level, and then once on your level, they're going to attack. But you can drop ballast or lose bombs, whatever you got to do to gain altitude. And if you gain altitude for a couple of rounds, then the aircraft will peel off because it has not been able to catch you. Plus, these little aircraft do have a max altitude. You see this one is 5. It's that little number on the side of the counter. This short 184 is only a 4. So it can only go up to this altitude here. If I got up to 5, it couldn't even get up close to me anyway. So that is something that you can do if you encounter the aircraft at some point, is just climb away from them so they don't have the opportunity to shoot you. But of course, that is going to require that you have some type of ballast to drop to be able to elevate yourself to get away. And then you still have to play with the bands, because if you can go into the high band, the high altitude, then you're going to have to worry about venting more gas because of the expansion and then dropping back down, and it becomes the whole ballast game back and forth. All right, but yeah, we're going to pause here since I've gone on a little long, but the basic gist, we would fly back to Whitmund, and we would tally our score. At that point, we did well, 17 points on this bombing run. And I'll tell you what, we'll go over in the next video just the basics of what you're going to do when you get back to base, like refitting, rearming, potential rewards that you can get, and then the basics of how you're going to do scouting missions out in the ocean to try to find aircraft. All right, but if you guys have any questions or concerns, feel free to put them down below. You guys take care. I will catch you in the next one.